presentation tonight from the Fire Chief, Steve Coleman, and the Semlec Motorcycle Unit. So we'd invite you all to come up and join us here at the table.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Mr. Chairman, if it's acceptable to you, I do have Lieutenant Lemon and Chief Ford here. With your permission, if we would be able to get through the entire presentation with all three of us, and then we would be happy to entertain any questions.
That would be great. That would be great.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, because I believe the two are tied in, if we could move up agenda item 5B1, which is the fire rescue gift acceptance, then the chief can discuss it and we can take action on it under this item, so we don't have to keep the chief here.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm happy to be here tonight to announce a new program initiative within the Auburn Fire Rescue Department that will support the Central Mass Law Enforcement Council, also known as Semlec. With me tonight is Lieutenant Todd Lemon from the Auburn Police Department, as well as Chief Tom Ford from the Sturbridge Police Department, who are both leaders within Semlec. This new initiative will support Semlec, which as a department, we have been doing for over 15 years by providing EMS support to the Semlec SWAT team. Currently, we have one paramedic assigned to the SWAT team who trains and responds on SWAT activations to provide advanced medical care and treatment to injured SWAT officers. This new program will provide EMS support to another Semlec team, the motorcycle unit. The department has leased and will be outfitting a 2017 Harley-Davidson motorcycle with advanced life support equipment to be embedded into the Semlec motor unit. Although some may think it is unconventional for firefighters or EMS providers to deliver care from a motorcycle, there are successful EMS motor units around the country, including Connecticut. Although we are not the first EMS motorcycle unit to operate in Massachusetts, we will be the first to operate a motorcycle at the advanced life support level. The island of Nantucket operated 4 EMS motorcycles for many years at the basic life support level. I am so proud to work for this community because we are looked at as forward-thinking and visionaries. We are not afraid to do something new, and we're not afraid to be the first at something. This community and our department have a long-standing history and tradition with that philosophy. And just 2 quick public safety examples to demonstrate that point is both Mass Fire District 7 and Semlec are 2 strong, thriving organizations that are designed to enhance and promote regionalization efforts and coordinate mutual aid and interoperability. Do you know where both of those organizations got their start? Right here in the town of Auburn. The first efforts to organize Fire District 7 into what it is today started on the 2nd floor of Auburn Fire Headquarters. Semlec was started and based out of the Auburn Police Station with only 4 communities in the early years. Semlec now serves over 80 communities with specialized services throughout Worcester County and beyond. Auburn has never been afraid to step up, recognize a problem, and find a creative solution. That is what was done with the creation of this motor unit. I would like to briefly talk about the public safety need for this program and how it was conceived. In the months following the loss of Auburn Police Officer Ron Tarantino and retired Fire Chief Belhumer, I was having a conversation with Lieutenant Lemon about how much easier it was today to organize resources and ask for assistance now that formalized special services programs were in place through the Fire District and Semlec. We got on a discussion about the motor unit and through conversation discovered the amount of times that they are witness to incidents or medical emergencies that occur at events that they are participating in, and there is no immediate medical care available. Medical emergencies have occurred with both motor unit officers themselves as well as the public. Lieutenant Lemon expressed concern over their lack of EMS and showed interest in embedding EMS into the motor unit similar to the SWAT team. This concept would provide immediate care and treatment for motor officers on assignment. Just this past summer, a motor officer collided with another motorcycle during a traffic escort mission on a motorcycle ride. It was a remote community and took just over 20 minutes for an ambulance to arrive on scene. Upon recognizing that there was a true need for such a unit to provide our motor officers and the public with immediate advanced life support, I launched a careful study of other motor unit programs across the country. I looked at their training, funding sources, and evaluating the sustainability and on how to operate such a motor unit locally. For me, it became an easy decision understanding that this was possible. Another benefit to the program that may not be visible on the surface is providing our employees with challenging opportunities outside of their normal day-to-day operations. This assists with employee retention. People want to work in Auburn because of our reputation and the things that we are involved in. Firefighter EMTs that have expanded opportunities and challenges are most likely to remain with their agencies. Law enforcement councils and fire districts provide members those opportunities in their local agencies that are usually only typically available in larger cities. Other local examples of these expanded opportunities include our regional dive team, which has police officers currently serving on it. Technical rescue team, communications, fire investigation, district assist teams, all expanded opportunities for our members to take part. I also want to discuss the financial aspect of this program. As mentioned earlier, one of my many decision-making factors was whether or not this program would be affordable and sustainable. In order to do so, we would have to model our program identical to that of the Auburn Police Department, where none of the officers receive overtime compensation for their assignment to SEMLEC, including both missions and training. Officers receive comp time for time worked. Our program will be the same. No firefighters will receive overtime compensation for their assignment or their initial training. Like other comp time owed, it will be granted as not to incur overtime to the department. Tonight, the board will be asked to accept 4 separate donations totaling $12,100 towards the startup costs of this motor unit. I would humbly ask you to accept those donations with gratitude. In addition, SEMLEC has provided $9,000 in equipment for the motorcycle. In total, we will have received $21,100 in both grants and donations, and I do expect that number to climb. We will continue to pursue Homeland Security grants and other alternative funding sources, as we always have. The town has currently expended a total of $3,065 from the Fire Rescue Department's FY17 operating budget, $1,495 from our professional development line item to send 1 member to the 80-hour police motorcycle school, and $1,570 for the first year of a 3-year lease on the motorcycle. The training cost is a one-time expense, leaving the annual total to operate the program at the cost of the lease for $1,570. And I am anticipating that through donations, years 2 and 3 of the lease will be covered. Also, in future years, we will consider shifting that cost to ambulance receipts. This is what makes the program financially realistic and sustainable through my current operating budget without an additional request for funding through the budget process. This is a very small amount of money compared to what we as a community and region have received in grant money alone. In the 4 years that I have served as chairman of Mass Fire District 7, I have overseen the acceptance of $1 million in Homeland Security money for equipment and training, including backfill and overtime. Much of that equipment is housed on apparatus and trailers in the town of Auburn. Hundreds of thousands of dollars has been saved in equipment and training through our regional efforts. SEMLEC has a similar story, receiving $746,000 in equipment and training. The cost of the lease on the motorcycle is a small price to pay for the regional benefits that our community has enjoyed. The 3 department members that have been selected for this motor unit have all been with the department for over 10 years and have been avid motorcyclists for over 20. They are Captain Justin Brigham, who will be overseeing the unit internally within the department, and the liaison to the SEMLEC leadership. Firefighter Fran Hartnett and Firefighter Scott Henderson, all responsible, conscientious riders and employees. All 3 members will be attending the 80-hour motorcycle training school at Northwestern University Center for Public Safety in Weymouth, Mass., where national trainers will put them through an intense 2-week program, the same program that our Auburn police motor officers have graduated. In closing, this EMS motorcycle is to support the efforts of SEMLEC Motor Unit. It will not be used day-to-day to respond to emergencies within the town of Auburn. In addition to its SEMLEC responsibilities, its purpose is for special events and details. The program is financially realistic and sustainable. The program has been researched thoroughly and has the full support of the SEMLEC Board of Directors that voted to authorize the program on April 25, 2017, as well as the full support of Chief Slukas. SEMLEC has expressed a need for EMS support, and the Auburn Fire Rescue Department is proud to step forward and provide that support as we have done for over 15 years. At this time, Mr. Chairman, I would ask Lieutenant Lemon, who serves as the Semlec Motor Unit Commander, to say a few words, followed by Chief Ford, who is the chief that oversees the motor unit on behalf of Semlec.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for allowing me to be present this evening, and congratulations, Mrs. Brotherton, on your service to the town of Auburn.
Thank you.
So I'm the lucky guy that gets to report to two chiefs. Chief Slukas to my left, Chief Ford to my right. So I'm the filling in between that sandwich, but I'm very honored. I will be brief. And it's amazing to me to think back that I have 30 years of service as a police officer, and 25 of which I've been involved with the Semlec organization, coming on to the origination of the SWAT team back in 1995. And what started out as just a couple of towns that grew into more than 80 cities and towns throughout central Mass and even outside other counties now, other than Worcester County. It's been quite an accomplishment. Thinking back to last year after the murder of Ron Tarantino, the town of Auburn was hurting, the police department was hurting, and we needed resources, and a lot of law enforcement agencies stepped up. The Mass State Police were phenomenal, but the Central Mass Law Enforcement Council, both with their SWAT teams and their motor unit, they essentially came in and took over operations for us in town. They were able to facilitate and assist with the navigation and the coordination of both Roger Bell Human's funeral and Officer Tarantino's funeral. It was quite a burden to see my brothers in blue step up for the town like they did. And that's just one example. And it doesn't go unnoticed that there was a paramedic, a UMass paramedic, that was assigned to the state police SWAT team, much like they're assigned to our Central Mass Law Enforcement Council SWAT team that treated the trooper that was shot, that apprehended Ron Tarantino's murderer. Last year, we had two motorcycle crashes involved in events, and one of which was very minor. The other one was somewhat more serious. Chief Coleman pointed out that we had a 20-minute wait out on Route 9 in one of the Brookfields when we were waiting for medical assistance, and that was when I knew that it was time to make a change. Now, although it may sound unconventional for someone in EMS or a firefighter to be on a motorcycle, we go in places where motor vehicles can't go, and they are just going to be an additional asset for our agency. Year after year, we report to the Boston Marathon. We go out to the town of Sturbridge for the Pan Mass Challenge, and we are an agency and an organization that Homeland Security depends on. So that's just a quick oversight. I'm not sure how many members of the board are aware when the tornado swept through the central Massachusetts and devastated good portions of Western Mass, Palmer, Sturbridge. Sturbridge needed some assistance, and we deployed our motor unit out to the town of Sturbridge, and at Chief Ford's will, we were able to actually facilitate and answer calls from a mutual aid. And this whole program is at very little cost to our community. And again, with Homeland Security funds that we've realized with communications and interoperability grants, the town of Auburn has, and our surrounding communities have definitely realized a tremendous benefit. So that's really all I have to say. I just thank you for allowing me to be here, and I think this is a tremendous program, and I'll tell you, this is the reason I came to the town of Auburn, because we were cutting edge. I left another small town. This is why we have, in my opinion, some of the best employees and one of the best police departments in the Commonwealth, because we have an open mind and we encourage new ideas and thinking outside the box.
Thank you, Lieutenant Lemon. Chief Ford, please.
Thank you very much, and thank you to all the board members for allowing us the opportunity to come before you tonight to speak. As a representative and the motor unit chief, I'm happy and as well proud to be here for this particular moment. When the idea was first brought to me, I took with little hesitation on bringing it forward before the executive board, who couldn't understand from their standpoint the need for such a tool. However, once reminded that since 9/11, we continue as police, fire, and EMS to work under the same emergency management umbrella to continue to move our missions forward. We find ourselves on the grounds training through many different for many different events that involve large amounts of individuals, both at outdoor public events, indoor public events, and things that involve traffic. From that standpoint, many of the motor unit assignments have us moving organized amounts of people, hundreds of people that are in motor vehicles at any given time. So the probability of something happening is going to be there always. To have emergency medical services integrated into the SEMLEC mission, into our operational readiness, to have advanced life support available to us at an instant is going to be paramount to the success of not only the function that we are involved in that particular time, but to the future. And I think that once this kicks off with Auburn Fire and Rescue coming on board with SEMLEC, I think that it's going to be contagious. I think it's going to go throughout the 80 towns that represent the Law Enforcement Council, and I think that we're going to see more units popping up all throughout our SEMLEC coverage area. I'd like to take this moment to thank Chief Coleman for his support, for his vision for this program, his ability to move this program forward, for the vision of Lieutenant Lemon for this program, working together as a team. Both of them brought this to SEMLEC, and we welcome the opportunity for Auburn to join SEMLEC in this capacity, so thank you.
Thank you, Chief Ford. We have Chief Lucas, our Auburn Police Chief, in the audience, and would you care to comment, add anything to what they've brought forward tonight?
I think that they've laid it out relatively well, but yes, I am 100% in favor of this project and fully support it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Have any board members got any questions, comments? Yes, Mrs. Brotherton.
I've heard of camaraderie before, but to see police and fire together with their camaraderie is extremely overwhelming. Chief Selectmen, Chief Coleman, you have continued to surprise us with your knowledge and your care for the town of Auburn. I support this project 100%. Being a nurse, time is of essence, and it's clearly obvious that this is going to save time. And I support it, and I wish you the best in all your continued endeavors for our town. Thank you both, Lieutenant Lemon, both of your departments, for all of your involvement. Good luck.
Thank you, Mrs. Brother.
Mrs. Goodrich.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief Coleman, Chief Ford, Lieutenant Lemon, and of course, Chief Lucas. Thank you for bringing this to us. Thank you for allowing the public to hear about this very important project. You know, I had the opportunity today to attend the promotional ceremony for the fire department, and as Mrs. Brotherton said, we talked about the camaraderie, not only within the departments, but within the two departments. I have no concerns with being number one. I thank you for your forward thinking. Our department is known throughout the Commonwealth for their professionalism, their training, and I'm really excited about this project. You have my full support. I had the privilege of attending both the Police Academy, Citizens Police Academy, the Citizens Fire Academy, learned an awful lot about SEMLEC that I didn't know in the past, learned an incredible amount from Captain Brigham as he led the Citizens Fire Academy, and I can say with confidence, no offense, Chief, that we have the most professional fire departments and police departments in the Commonwealth. So you have my full support.
Thank you, Mrs. Goodrich.
Mr. Berthew.
I also want to say that I support it 100%. Being a firefighter, being a motorcycle rider, being at that event that happened out on Route 9 as one of the first people that helped respond, traffic gets very congested very quickly. And one of my first thoughts was, how are they going to get ambulances to the scene? And they needed ambulances to the scene. And I really think that I was excited to hear when this idea came through, because I think that getting an ALS motorcycle equipped and a ALS technician on the scene very quickly is an incredible idea. So I'm also 100% in support of this.
Anybody else? For myself, I had a chance to meet with Chief Coleman, and when I first heard about it, came through as an email, and I had many concerns. And we sat for over an hour with Chief Coleman and Deputy Chief Johnson. And they assured me that this program is going to go forward. It's the proper thing to do. And yeah, when you have groups of motorcycles, groups of anybody, you do need that additional support. And when they explained the program to me, just as you explained it tonight, it's just something like, wow, how come this hasn't happened before? And I think it's going to be a great thing all the way through. And you have the support of the professionals. And there's no questions, no concerns. You're going to go forward with this. And we wish you the very best. And thank you very much for all that you do. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you very much for your comments.
We have moved up item 5B1. These are the gift certificates for, gift certificates, gift receipts, thank you, for the fire department for this program. And I'd like to take them separately to be sure that, you know, everybody is identified on who is donated. The first one will be for Noria Energy Corporation for $6,000 for the ALS motorcycle equipment.
Motion to accept with gratitude.
Second.
Any?
If we can just hear from the chief a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit
sorry.
about this.
Thank you.
About this, who this is, and
Sure. The Noria Energy Company is the Shell gas station at the corner of Millbury and Route 20.
Okay, thank you. We have an anonymous donation of $100 for the EMS motorcycle. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to take them individually. The motion's been made and seconded for the Noria Energy Corporation. Is there any questions, comments? Mr. Carpenter?
I just wanted to ask Mrs. Goodrich to amend her motion so that we can send a letter of gratitude signed by the chair for...
I'm happy to make that
Okay.
amendment.
Sharon, you have that? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We have an anonymous donation here for $100 for the EMS motorcycle. Mrs. Brotherton.
I'd like to make a motion to accept with gratitude.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. We have one for $3,000 from the Sturbridge Service Center. Mrs. Goodrich.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept with gratitude and send a letter of thanks from the board signed by the chairman.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And the last one we have for tonight is Dorenzo Towing for $3,000 for the EMS motorcycle.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to accept with gratitude along with a letter signed by the chair.
Motion made and
Second.
any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chief, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chief, thank you very much.